So this happened yesterday, and my phone has been blowing up with family members calling me everything from spoiled to ungrateful. But I honestly think I'm losing my mind here. I need some outside perspective because I'm starting to question my own reality. Some background. I'm 22F. My brother Jake is 24M. We were born exactly 2 years and 3 days apart, which sounds cute until you realize it's been the bane of my existence for over 2 decades. Every single year, without fail, my mom insists on throwing us a joint celebration to save money and bring the family together. What she really means is, let's throw Jake a birthday party, and oh yeah, Opie exists too. But this year was supposed to be different. This year, I'd finally graduated college, first in my family, magna cum laude, double major, landed my dream job at a nonprofit, and moved into my own apartment. I felt like I'd finally proven myself worthy of, I don't know, basic parental recognition? God, typing that out makes me sound pathetic. Anyway, Jake still lives at home. He dropped out of college junior year to find himself, read, smoke weed, and play video games, has never held a job for more than 6 months, and still asks mom for gas money. But he's charming and funny and has this way of making everyone love him effortlessly. Classic golden child stuff. So when mom called 3 weeks ago, practically vibrating with excitement about this year's extra special joint celebration, I actually let myself hope. Maybe this would be the year she'd acknowledge that her daughter had actually accomplished something worth celebrating. The party was yesterday at my parents' house. Mom had gone all out, catered food, decorations, the works. About 30 people showed up, which was honestly more than I expected. Most of my extended family, some family friends, a few of Jake's buddies. Everything seemed normal at first. We did the usual routine. Everyone sang happy birthday to both of us, though Jake's name definitely got more emphasis. We posed for photos, made small talk. I was actually having a decent time catching up with my Aunt Sarah, who's always been my favorite relative. Then came present time. Mom announced that she had very special surprises for both of us this year. She was practically glowing, kept doing this thing where she'd catch Dad's eye and they'd share these knowing looks. I felt this flutter of anticipation in my chest. She started with Jake because he's older, her reasoning not mine. Jake, honey, this year has been such a journey for you, she began, her voice getting that misty quality it gets when she talks about her precious son. You've been working so hard on yourself, really growing as a person. Dad and I are so proud of the man you're becoming. Working hard on himself. The guy hasn't left his bedroom except to raid the fridge in 3 months. But okay, whatever. Let her have her moment. She handed him an envelope. Jake opened it with his trademark grin, the one that makes everyone else smile automatically. His expression shifted to shock, then pure joy. No fucking way, he breathed, then caught himself.
Sorry, Mom.
No freaking way. He held up a set of car keys. Not just any car keys. BMW keys. The entire party erupted in cheers and congratulations. Jake was jumping around like he'd won the lottery, hugging Mom and Dad, everyone crowding around to see the keys and hear about the car. A BMW. A brand new BMW 3 Series, as it turned out. Mom was explaining through happy tears that they'd been saving for months, that Jake deserved something reliable and nice, that it was time for him to have some independence. Saving for months. For Jake, who contributes nothing to the household and hasn't had a job since he quit the grocery store in February for being too corporate. I stood there watching this celebration, feeling like I was underwater. The noise seemed muffled and far away. I kept thinking there had to be more to it, that maybe this was building up to something even bigger for me. After all, if they'd gotten Jake a car, what could they possibly have planned for their daughter, who actually had her life together? Finally, after what felt like hours but was probably 10 minutes, Mom turned to me. Her cheeks were flushed from all the excitement, and she had that slightly manic energy she gets when she's really happy about something. And for our birthday girl, she announced, reaching under the gift table. She pulled out a wrapped box. Medium-sized, soft. My heart was still pounding from residual hope, even though warning bells were starting to ring in the back of my mind. I unwrapped it carefully, aware that everyone was watching. The paper came away to reveal a clothing box from Macy's. Inside was a sweater. Not just any sweater. A beige, cable-knit cardigan that looked like something a suburban mom would wear to her book club. The kind of sweater that screams, "I've given up on life and fashion." I stared at it for a moment, waiting for the punchline, waiting for Mom to laugh and say, "Gotcha," and pull out my real gift, waiting for literally anything that would make this make sense. The silence stretched on. People were starting to shift uncomfortably. "It's lovely," I managed, my voice sounding hollow to my own ears. "I thought it would be perfect for your new job," Mom said brightly. "Very professional. Very you. Very me." A beige sweater was very me. Jake was still over by the driveway, surrounded by people admiring his new BMW. The BMW that cost what, $30,000? $40? And I got a $30 sweater from the clearance rack. "Do you like it?" Mom pressed, and there was something in her tone that made me look up. She seemed genuinely confused by my lack of enthusiasm. That's when it hit me. She really thought this was equivalent. In her mind, Jake's brand new luxury car and my discount sweater were somehow equal gifts. She'd probably spent weeks congratulating herself on being such a thoughtful mother, getting each of her children something perfectly suited to their needs. I felt something crack inside my chest. "It's great, Mom," I said quietly. Really thoughtful. But I guess my face didn't match my words, because her smile started to falter. "OP, what's wrong? You don't look happy." And suddenly, everyone was looking at me again. Jake had wandered back over, key still in his hand, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. Which I guess he had. "Nothing's wrong," I said. "I'm just processing." Processing what? This was Dad, who'd been mostly quiet during the gift exchange, but was now studying my face with that concerned parent look. I don't know what came over me. Maybe it was the contrast between Jake's genuine joy and my own crushing disappointment. Maybe it was 22 years of being the afterthought finally catching up to me. Maybe I'm just a terrible person. It's just interesting, I heard myself say, how Jake gets a BMW for existing, and I get a sweater for graduating summa cum laude and landing my dream job. The words hung in the air like a toxic cloud. Mom's face went through several emotions in rapid succession. Confusion, hurt, then anger. "OP, that's not fair," she said, her voice getting sharp. "Jake needed a car. You have a car." "I have a 2003 Honda Civic with 200,000 miles that breaks down every other month. It gets you where you need to go." Jake needed independence, Dad chimed in, his tone getting defensive. "He's been working really hard on himself lately." Working hard on himself. There it was again. What exactly has he been working hard on? I asked. The new high score on Call of Duty? Perfecting his technique for sleeping until 2 p.m.? "Hey," Jake said, and for the first time, his smile was gone. "That's not cool." "You know what's not cool? Mom and Dad spending more on your birthday gift than I make in a month while I'm over here busting my ass to build an actual life." The party had gone completely silent. People were staring at their shoes, at their drinks, anywhere but at the family drama unfolding in front of them. "OP," Mom's voice was getting that dangerous, quiet tone. "You are being incredibly ungrateful right now. We got you something thoughtful and appropriate. Not everything is a competition." Ungrateful. I laughed, and it came out bitter and ugly. "Mom, you bought Jake a luxury car and bought me a clearance sweater. If everything isn't a competition, then what is this?" Jake is at a different stage of life. Jake is unemployed. He's figuring things out. I figured things out. I got a degree, I got a job, I got my own place. What did that get me? A beige sweater and a lecture about gratitude. My voice was getting louder, and I could see the horrified expressions on my relatives' faces. Aunt Sarah looked like she wanted to crawl under the table. Jake's friends were filming with their phones, because of course they were. "You need to lower your voice right now," Dad said, stepping forward. "This is not appropriate behavior for what? For someone whose parents just made it crystal clear where their priorities are." "We love you both equally," Mom said, tears starting to form in her eyes. "Jake, Tell your sister we love you both equally. Jake looked between us, clearly torn. For a second, I thought he might actually stick up for me, might acknowledge how messed up this whole situation was. Instead, he shrugged. I mean, Opie, it is just a birthday gift. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. 22 years of being second fiddle, of watching my parents bend over backwards for their golden child while I fought for scraps of attention, and it's not that deep. I looked around at all these people, family members who'd watched this dynamic play out my entire life and never said a word, friends who were more interested in recording drama than standing up for what was right, parents who genuinely could not understand why I was upset. I set the sweater box down on the gift table very carefully. You know what? I said, my voice suddenly calm. You're absolutely right. It's not that deep. None of this is that deep. Thanks for the party, Mom. Thanks for the gift. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the evening. I walked to where I'd left my purse, picked it up, and headed for the door. OP, where are you going? Mom called after me. I turned back one more time. Jake was holding his BMW keys. Mom had mascara starting to run down her cheeks. Dad looked like he was about to have a stroke. 30 people were staring at me like I was a crazy person. I'm going home, I said. To my apartment. That I pay for. With my job. Thanks again for the sweater. I'm sure it'll be perfect for all those board meetings I have to attend as a 22-year-old nonprofit worker. And I left. I walked out of my own birthday party, got in my shitty Honda Civic, which thankfully started on the first try, and drove home to my studio apartment where I ate leftover Chinese takeout and watched Netflix until I fell asleep on my couch. That was yesterday. Since then, my phone has been a war zone. Here's a sampling of the messages I've received. From Mom, I can't believe you embarrassed our family like that. All I wanted was a nice party for both my children. I'm so disappointed in you. From Dad, your behavior yesterday was unacceptable. You owe your mother and brother an apology. From Jake, dude, what the hell? Mom is crying and Dad is pissed. It was just a party. Why did you have to make everything about you? From various aunts, uncles, and cousins. Everything from, I understand you're upset, but that wasn't the way to handle it, to you've always been a drama queen, to your parents love you. You should apologize. The only person who's been on my side is Aunt Sarah, who texted me this morning, Honey, I've been watching this dynamic for years and I'm proud of you for finally standing up for yourself. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking you're crazy. But everyone else seems to think I'm a spoiled brat who ruined a perfectly nice party because I was jealous of my brother's gift. And maybe they're right. Maybe I am being spoiled and ungrateful. Maybe the fact that my parents threw me a party at all should be enough. Maybe I shouldn't compare gifts, shouldn't keep score, shouldn't care so much about proving my worth through material things. But I can't shake the feeling that this wasn't really about the car or the sweater. It was about what they represented, Jake being seen as someone worth investing in, someone with potential, someone deserving of nice things and support and encouragement. While I'm just reliable old Opie, who'll be fine with whatever scraps we throw her way because she's so responsible and independent. The thing is, I am independent. I did put myself through school, I did find a good job, I did move out and start building my own life. And I'm proud of those things. But it would have been nice, just once, to feel like my parents were proud of them too. Instead, I feel like I'm being punished for my independence. Like, because I don't need them to take care of me, they've decided I don't need their support or recognition either. Meanwhile, Jake gets rewarded for his dependency with expensive gifts and endless patience. I keep going back and forth between thinking I'm completely justified and thinking I'm a terrible daughter who ruined her own birthday party over material possessions. The rational part of my brain knows that cars are more expensive than sweaters, that parents aren't required to spend equal amounts on their children, that I should be grateful for any gift at all. But the emotional part of me can't get past the symbolism of it all. The message it sends. The pattern it represents. So, Reddit, I'm asking you to be brutally honest with me. Am I the asshole? Did I overreact to an innocent gift disparity? Should I swallow my pride and apologize for embarrassing my family? Or was I right to finally call out the favoritism that's been going on my entire life? I genuinely don't know anymore. The gaslighting has been so intense over the past 24 hours that I'm starting to question my own perception of reality. Did this really happen the way I remember it? Am I really as ungrateful and dramatic as everyone is saying? Help me out here. I need some outside perspective before I lose my mind completely. Update: holy shit, you guys. I was not expecting this to blow up the way it has. I'm trying to read through all the comments, but there are thousands of them. Thank you to everyone who took the time to share their thoughts, even the ones calling me a spoiled brat, because I genuinely wanted honest feedback. A few things I want to clarify based on some common questions. The timing. Yes, our birthdays are 3 days apart, but Mom has always insisted on the joint party. I've asked in the past to have separate celebrations and been told it's impractical and divisive. The car situation. Jake's old car, a 2001 Ford Focus, finally died about 6 months ago. Since then, he's been borrowing Mom and Dad's cars or bumming rides. But he's also been unemployed for most of that time, so it's not like he was stranded without transportation to work. My financial situation. I make decent money for a recent graduate, but I'm also paying student loans, rent, utilities, groceries, etc. A new car isn't impossible for me, but it would be a significant financial strain. I've been saving up to replace my Honda, but it's going to take time. Previous birthday disparities. This isn't the first time there's been a huge gap in gift value, but it's definitely the most extreme. Usually it's more subtle, like Jake getting a PlayStation and me getting books, or him getting concert tickets and me getting a necklace. I've always been told I'm harder to shop for, or that my gifts are more meaningful. Jake's reaction. A lot of people are asking why Jake didn't stick up for me or offer to share the car. Honestly, he's never been malicious about the favoritism. He just accepts it as normal. When you're the golden child, you don't really question why good things happen to you. The most common advice I'm seeing is that I should go low/no contact with my parents, which feels extreme, but maybe necessary for my mental health. Others are saying I should apologize for the public scene, but still have a private conversation about the deeper issues. I think the comment that hit me hardest was someone saying, "You're not upset about a sweater. You're grieving the parents you deserved but never had." That really resonated with me. Anyway, I'm still processing all of this. Haven't talked to any family members since yesterday, though the texts keep coming. I might post another update once I figure out my next steps. Thanks again for all the support. It means more than you know. Edit. Jake just showed up at my apartment. We talked for about 2 hours, and honestly, it was probably the most real conversation we've ever had as adults. I'm going to post a full update later, but the short version is, he admitted he's always known about the favoritism, he feels guilty about it but didn't know how to address it, and he wants to help fix things with our parents. He also offered to sell the BMW and split the money with me, which I obviously can't let him do, but the gesture meant everything. Still not ready to talk to Mom and Dad, but at least Jake and I are okay. That's something.